Head for the Cure 5K events are not only successful fundraisers in the fight against brain cancer, but unique tributes for those currently fighting this terrible disease and remembering those who have lost their battles. Head for the Cure was started in honor of a man named Chris Anthony. Chris's motto was always keeping the faith. He lived it daily. He signed off every email with keeping the faith. And his faith enabled him to maintain his grace, dignity, courage, and strength throughout his illness. That's why every year we honor brain cancer patients and their loved ones with a special recognition we call Keeping the Faith. Each of their stories is personal and special, and all are inspiring. Alan Struckmeyer, nominated by Gabby Struckmeyer. Alan Struckmeyer is a pastor in Gainesville, Florida. This past year, he has had a busy year. He watched his 3 sons become husbands as they all got married in the same year, became a fur grandpa to 2 new furry additions, and in the middle of COVID-19 in May, he was diagnosed with glioblastoma. He has continued to work hard to serve his church congregation and family, all while undergoing radiation, chemo, 2 brain surgeries, and countless doctor's appointments, visits, and a few hospital stays. He continues to show his strength in everything he does. He is a superhero to many, pastor, friend, and dad. He has the biggest heart and continues to show us his strength. Jennifer Scarone, nominated by David Hilliard. What a wonderful Christmas in 2020. Jen moves forward with her treatments, and the GBM tumor has been held at bay for over 4 years now. She has been painting, scrapbooking, traveling, and gardening this year. A big part of the story is the support of doctors, nurses, friends, get well wishers, and of course family and her husband, Jared. When you bring children into this world, in reality, parents pray most for health and happiness. We pray that they make good choices and that those around them make good choices. If they choose to marry, we hope that they are in a strong and happy marriage. Thank you for your courage and for allowing us to honor you. The Legacy of Love Award was implemented at our North Texas event in 2011 in honor of Stevie Patrick. She was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 28, and although Stevie would go on to battle brain cancer for 3.5 years, her heart was always open to reach out and help others, even as she was going through an incredibly difficult time. Stevie always took the high road and walked through each day with great integrity and a big smile on her face. This award is easily defined by actions of integrity, encouragement, determination, and truly loving and serving others, especially those in need. The recipient of this must have a strong desire to encourage and help others. This deserving person must be a leader each day and also have the courage to smile in the midst of adversity. We'd now like to share their story. Jared Scarone, nominated by David Hilliard. My daughter Jen was diagnosed with GBM and has been stable for over 4 years now. The phrase I came up with this year is daughter happy, daddy happy. Her husband, Jared, has from the very beginning been by her side, sometimes leading, sometimes pushing, sometimes moving left or right, communicating, reading, calling, questioning, pausing, listening, smiling, and laughing, and making Jen happy. As Jen's father, I am so thankful for Jared because he makes daughter happy, daddy happy. Angela Huskins, nominated by Paula Huskins and Alan Bontoya. Angela Huskins is the wife of Paul Huskins, a 2-time survivor of surgery to remove a brain tumor in the left side of his frontal lobe. The two were married in April of 2012, and Paul was first diagnosed in November of that year. From the first diagnosis, Angela and Paul were determined to ensure that this tumor would be something that they would battle aggressively from the start. They sought the best possible treatment from their doctors in Texas and were able to receive a referral to the University of California, San Francisco for surgery. Paul had his first surgery, was in the ICU for 6 days, and spent 20 more days in California in the hospital there for his surgery. Angela was by his side for much of this time, in the room assisting and guiding him through much of his rehab process. After his recovery from the surgery, the couple relocated to Florida. Paul completed a year of chemo and 6 weeks of radiation. They remained active in the Head for the Cure community, telling their story and raising money each year. Advanced to 2020 and the pandemic, Paul requires a second surgery for a new growth of his tumor. Expecting a short stay in the hospital in Jacksonville, they place their children with Angela's parents and head for the Mayo Clinic. Unfortunately, Paul has a stroke during surgery and spends 10 days in a coma. He remains in the hospital for another 2 weeks. When he is finally released from the Mayo Clinic to return to their home in Gainesville, he is still in a facility there for another 12 days. All this while their son Henry was starting first grade from home due to the pandemic. In September of 2021, she received the news that her brother, only 3 years older, was diagnosed with cancer of a serious nature, and she drove her parents to the Boston area to assist with his care. She remains committed to assisting her immediate and extended family in any way that she can. As parents of Paul, we have seen this young woman sacrifice a great deal of herself from a career and personal standpoint to care for others and see her as a great example of a selfless caregiver. Dawn Senecal, nominated by Carol Bishop. Dawn has taken care of Susan mostly single-handedly since she was diagnosed with brain cancer. He is very loving and goes out of his way to make sure Susan has everything she needs and lots of love. Dr. Nick Avgeropoulos, nominated by Rachel Welsh. Dr. Nick Avgeropoulos works in the Cancer Center at Orlando Health. He is an excellent neuro-oncologist. I met Dr. Nick after being diagnosed with a glioblastoma. I was eager to start treatment and learn about my diagnosis. He is such a great communicator and teacher. After my first appointment with him, I felt as if I had just been to a seminar because of his efforts to help me understand the brain and glioblastomas. Dr. Nick treats me as an individual patient. He invests time evaluating the specifics of my scans and lab work rather than assuming every patient is just alike. I believe he is just as diligent with all of his patients. I look forward to appointments with Dr. Nick because he is so good at making people feel excited about their progress and hopeful for the future. I could not ask for a better doctor to help me remain cancer-free.